You missed. It's 50 here, and I have in the background my new student. Let's see if he learned anything today. You missed of the dubious. That's you. And I'm 50 plus one. Got me a new student, and so far today he's done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And well, you had some previous experience driving, so it's kind of coming back to you from before, right?
It was. Couldn't do it without you, though, Swifty. I appreciate you helping me.
Well, damn, let me break my arm.
Getting it down the road was a little bit of a challenge for me. The wind,
Yeah.
and all the little elements.
Hey, man, we drive through Wyoming, so we went through a couple of different seasons in Wyoming in one day, right?
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's how it is. But let's talk about a few things that you learned today. I mean, you let me know if there was anything that stood out.
I did. We were actually discussing it earlier. The first thing is that we didn't have a load earlier, and 50 walked into the driver leader area where they actually assign the loads, and they only had one load available, and it was due to drop off tomorrow at 18:30, I believe it was. Well, 50 wasn't having it. We wanted something earlier, so we went in and sat down and kicked around a little bit, had a little conversation, PR side of it, and he showed me how to go ahead and get a load, and voila, we're out here.
Yep.
294 miles later, we're on the road.
Yep.
Loaded real nice, and you're ready to shut it down pretty soon. So I definitely learned that.
And this isn't something special with me, okay? Whenever they look at your truck, remember they say this is truck number so and so. When the guy looked at it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they know who's running, they know who's not running, okay? They know who can actually get things done, and it just so happens that they needed a load ran hard because it was late, right?
It was late, right?
Yeah. However, we're gonna get it there
early.
That's it. And that's one of the reasons why they give me that load. Okay, so being prompt and making yourself valuable is. I'm gonna see if that's gonna help. Did that help a little bit?
The lighting.
Yeah. They may be able to see me now. Being prompt, being on time, being reliable is a good asset you can have, man. And when that day comes, you can that card is already thrown for you. You don't have to go in there and say, hey, I do this for you. They already know it.
Right. And
when you need to get rolling, they're gonna take care of you. Okay. And this is why we do what we do. Okay. Right. It's the reason why I run the way I run, and we discussed just a little while ago how we can get to the next load. We know we're going to get there on time, but the discussion wasn't necessarily based on getting this load there on time. The real deal is what we're focusing on is the next load. That's right. Yeah. And what we want to do when we get that next load,
we want to forward it.
That's it. And so that was more of a concern than getting it there. We know we're going to get it there, but make yourself valuable. Get your loads to the customer on time, upright, and
on all 18
yeah,
wheels.
That's right. And don't tear any equipment up along the way, and that's what they're asking. Okay, so anything else?
Yeah, definitely. When we got to the shipper, we dropped our empty trailer that we took out of the Salt Lake City yard, and we picked up our loaded trailer, headed over to the scales, only to find out that we were, almost 1,500 pounds over.
Right.
We were a little heavy.
Yeah.
So we had to adjust the tandem. So I learned a little bit about that.
There you go.
I learned how to network as well in that area, because we stopped and we didn't just go off of what we felt we knew. We reached out.
Right.
David called back to Salt Lake. Hey, we got something heavy. What do we do? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Can we go ahead and go? Is this legal? Are we all right?
Yeah.
And we found out that we're good after moving back and forth, little tandems back and forth, and trying to move the weight.
Right.
So we utilized resources and reached out. So it put me in a situation so that when I am in that situation, I will know what to do on my own.
There you go. And so a little bit into that, the load is 44,800 and something. So it's almost 45,000 pounds. And the issue with it right now is the way it's actually loaded. Okay. Because I can't do enough with it. If we were 1,500 too heavy on the drives,
right,
and 120 pounds heavy on the trailer tandems, and we were just under on the steers. Okay, so that was the problem. It's not that we can't move it around. It's too much to move.
right.
Okay, and I already knew we were going to be heavy, but not over heavy.
Right.
That's the reason why when we filled up, we filled just at half, right?
Right.
Because
you don't want too much fuel going in.
That's right. You don't want to put up too much fuel on if you already know that your loads are going to be heavy. Now, I wanted to make sure that I went on record. Okay, and that's why we called somebody and said, "Hey, we're going to be heavy on the axles." And if you're where we drive, we go from Utah to Wyoming, and then into Colorado. And Wyoming and Colorado will allow 36,000 pounds on the trailer tandems or the drive axles. So all we did was move the excess weight to the drives, and yes, that meant that the drives would be over, and that's fine as long as your entire rig is not over gross. So we couldn't weigh in total more than 80,000 pounds, which you're not.
Right.
So we're legal now that we're in Wyoming. You don't want to get pulled over in Utah, because that's not legal.
Right.
But by the time we got to right now, here we're in Wyoming now, we're legal. When we drop it off in California, we're legal. Okay, and if we were to get pulled over to a scale house and we're headed in that direction, chances of us getting into any grief behind that is slim to none. But we made those phone calls just in case.
Right.
Okay.
Which brings me to my next lesson that I learned today.
What's that?
Because we had to pull into a scale house.
We sure did. Yeah.
So that was very interesting to learn. Of course, we had the pre-pass.
Right.
It didn't light up for us.
Correct.
So we had to go in, and we got the green arrow not to continue on the freeway, but to go ahead and park. So I learned that.
Now, where we were was an actual scale house. It was a port of entry that has a scale. Of course, they are going to have scales. Okay, but it's that time of year where they're checking a lot, and that same scale house I just rolled in there Thursday or Friday. Okay, so they're familiar with this truck. In fact, the same guy was the same. Yeah, it was the same guy that took care of me. And so what they're checking for is to make sure that everybody's legal. Make sure that your IFTA is up to date. Okay.
Right.
And when you're going to have a couple of options a couple of scenarios that could happen when you approach a scale house or a port of entry that uses the pre-pass. First off, when you're just going to get in the right hand lane. And you remember when we said, I said, look, we're going to roll over a scale.
Right.
It was driving 65 mile an hour, and we went under that deal. Okay, we're under the deal that has the radar. Yeah.
Right.
We rolled under it, and when you run under it, it goes over scale. It's in the ground. Okay, it's a motion scale, and so they have a good guesstimate of if you're too heavy or not. And then a little ways down, there's going to be another one, and that one is the one that shoots the answer to your transponder. Okay, so it's either going to be green, which means you cool, keep rolling. What's going to be red, which means come on in here, we got to see you. Or nothing can happen. Okay, if nothing happens, it's the same thing as a red, and we got a nothing.
Right.
The same thing as a red. So we going in. Keep straight if you want to. You're gonna have some little lights behind you telling you to turn around. Come on back, see us. And it ain't gonna be good when it happens.
Lights, right?
Yeah, and they not bringing presents. That wouldn't be good. So if you get no lights, or if you get a red, you need to go inside. We got no light, so we pulled in, and when we pulled in, we got a green arrow that told us to bypass the scale. But once we bypassed the scale, the second lights had a red X in our lane, which would meant for us to go back onto I-80, and it was green arrow pointing, come and see us. Okay, that's the reason. All they wanted us to do is bypass the actual scale and park and go on inside and bring our stuff in, and then they check us out. And you were able to you handled the whole thing. All I did was stand there, and you had, this is a Costco load. Costco is paperless, so we use a Swift pre-printed bill of lading, and you just fill everything in, which we did.
Right.
And then you took your books in, and then you walked up there and you met the officials.
Was the Wyoming patrol officer, whatnot. He was the highway patrol officer, and I also learned that know what you're hauling. As well. And the whole etiquette, the whole interaction between myself, 50, and the gentleman behind the desk, kind of orchestrated a little bit. Cool, calm, collective, eye contact, almost like you're in an interview sort of setting.
Yes, and, you are.
He could have, actually, he said if you didn't know what you were hauling, that was grounds for him raising his eyebrows, saying, hey, well, maybe that warrants an inspection.
Correct.
And you don't want that.
No.
Because that can hold you up. And your load is now late, eat up your time, all that stuff. So we knew what we were hauling.
Right.
And we didn't hesitate in answering.
Right.
And after a couple seconds, he closed our paperwork up and said, you all be safe and have a good trip.
That's right. That's right. So did you notice the demeanor of the guy that was next to us at the other window?
I did.
And did you notice the demeanor of the guy when you were getting your candy bar out of the machine, and the guy was coming in and said, hey, how you doing? They were like this, right, man?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. When you're in those situations, you know, these guys have a job to do, you know, and they're not trying to do anything to you. So just don't go in there with the truck driver attitude, man. Just keep a smile on your face. Hey, how y'all doing? What do you need from me? And you're basically gonna know what they need because there's a sign in front of you tell you what to bring in. Okay, so you didn't just hand it to them. Hey, do my license or anything? No, we just want to make sure your books are good, just like you did. And yes, you want to know where you're hauling. Now, let's say, for instance, we have a Costco load. The question wasn't what individual little pieces that you have in there. My response to him was Costco.
Right.
Okay. Kimberly Clark. You know, these people work that job every day. So when you say Costco, they know that that's going to be an assortment of consumer products, okay? And it would be prepared foods, if any. If we were a reefer, then that would be non-prepared food. That meant raw foods, and that's a different process. But you know, we got an assortment of stuff, pens and pencils and everything else in there. Okay, so you just say, hey, got a Costco load, and that was satisfactory enough. You say Kimberly Clark, he gonna know that you got tissue papers and toilet paper and, you know, those little hygiene items like that.
Right.
Okay, and so they're not asking you to be overly specific. They just need to know if you have an item that needs to be controlled or anything like that you're bringing into the port of entry. Okay, calm, clean, and collect is what we were, and he rolled right with us, and we were in front of him probably 3 minutes maybe.
Right.
And it took longer to get that machine to give you a candy bar than it took for that gentleman to take care of us. So that was a good experience. You know, you want to leave anything else?
About to eat. I know that. About to eat.
Eat? Do I eat? I guess maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know. What we gonna eat?
We're gonna eat some chicken.
Hey man, it's gonna be extra good too. Yeah, I wish it could smell it cooking, but it's in the pressure cooker, so it doesn't.
That's another video, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Ken, you was outside, so I couldn't shoot it. That's okay. Maybe we'll put a still photo of him.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I hope.
Can't wait.
I hope that we can come back on here every day, that he's on the truck, and let you guys know, the progress. And I can say that it's going really good. This is the first run. We've only been on the road for several hours of this first day, but it's going to be good. It's going to be easy. But we kind of cheated because you had a little bit of a experience already, but actually quite a bit, right? Yeah. So this is going to be a good one. We're going to enjoy it. So I hope tomorrow we'll have some good information for you guys, and I hope you got something from this one. Got something out of it today?
I sure did.
Well, shit, that's successful. Let's roll.
All right.
Here's your boop. Boop. Hey everybody, 50 Plus here. What do I do when my recruiter won't return my calls? They're lying to me. They don't have answers to the questions I'm asking. Problem is, once I get those questions, it's already too late. Industry standard. Once a recruiter has got you, they got you. You belong to them. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you my recruiter's information. Her name is Autumn, and if you're thinking about joining Swift, that's who I want you to contact. You give her a call. She's going to send you through the process. Eventually, you're going to wind up on a mentor's truck. When you get in that truck, you're going to be on that truck for 200 hours. For 200 hours, I want your phone in the bunk. If you're willing to do that, I'm going to send you a Blue Pirate headset. You need to let Autumn know 50 Plus sent you.